New York City is known for its bustling streets, towering skyscrapers, and rich history, but beneath its lively surface lies a reputation for being one of the most haunted cities in the world. Many buildings, streets, and landmarks are said to be haunted by spirits from the past. From haunted hotels to theaters and cemeteries, New York has countless eerie stories. The city's dark past, combined with tragic deaths, makes it a place where ghost sightings and spooky encounters are common. Whether it's a flickering light, a sudden chill, or an unexplained noise, New York's haunted spots continue to send shivers down the spines of those who visit. Now we will visit the most haunted places of New York. Number 1. Rolling Hills Asylum. Rolling Hills Asylum, located in East Bethany, New York, is known as one of the most haunted places in the United States. Originally established in 1827 as the Genesee County Poor Farm, it served as a home for people who were poor, mentally ill, physically disabled, or simply had nowhere else to go. Over the years, the building housed hundreds of residents, many of whom lived difficult lives filled with hardship and suffering. Today, Rolling Hills Asylum is a hotspot for paranormal enthusiasts due to the numerous ghost sightings and spooky tales surrounding the property. One of the most famous spirits believed to haunt the asylum is known as Roy. Roy was a 7-foot-tall man who suffered from gigantism, a condition that caused him to grow abnormally large. He was sent to live at the asylum because of his condition, and despite his size, Roy was said to be a gentle soul. After his death, many visitors have reported seeing Roy's shadowy figure wandering the halls, as well as hearing his footsteps echoing through the building. Another well-known ghost is that of a nurse who is often seen in the corridors. People have reported seeing her wearing an old-fashioned nurse's uniform, and some even claim to have heard her comforting patients who are no longer there. Her presence adds to the eerie feeling that many experience while exploring the asylum. The shadow hallway is another area that gives visitors chills. People report seeing dark, shadowy figures darting across the hallway or standing at the end of it, watching silently. These shadows are believed to be the spirits of former residents who still linger in the asylum. Today, the asylum offers ghost tours and paranormal investigations, drawing in curious thrill seekers from all over the country. Its reputation as one of the most haunted places in the U.S. keeps growing as more and more people experience its spooky and unexplainable events. Number 2. Merchants House Museum. The Merchants House Museum, located in the heart of New York City's Greenwich Village, is often regarded as one of the most haunted places in the city. Built in 1832, the house belonged to the Treadwell family, who lived there for nearly 100 years. Today, it is a museum that preserves not only the architecture and artifacts of 19th century life, but also its ghostly legends. The most famous of these is the tale of Gertrude Treadwell, the last surviving member of the family, whose spirit is said to still reside in the house. Gertrude lived in the house until her death in 1933 at the age of 93. She never married and spent her entire life within the walls of the home where she was born. Many believe that she was deeply attached to the house, which is why her ghost is said to remain. Visitors and staff have reported seeing a woman in period clothing, believed to be Gertrude, wandering through the rooms, particularly in her bedroom. Some claim to have heard the rustling of skirts, footsteps, or even felt her presence in cold spots throughout the house. Another eerie tale involves the sounds of children's laughter, even though no children are present. The Treadwells had several children, and it is believed that the spirits of these young family members may still play in the house. People have also reported hearing music playing, as though a piano or old-fashioned music box were being used, though no instruments are in operation at the time. In the dark, shadowy corners of the house, visitors sometimes feel like they're being watched. Some claim to have seen ghostly figures out of the corner of their eye, only to find no one there. One chilling account describes a visitor being tapped on the shoulder, only to turn around and find themselves completely alone. The Merchants House Museum offers ghost tours, where guests can explore the house by candlelight and hear about the eerie encounters of past visitors. Number 3. Utica State Hospital. Utica State Hospital, also known as the Utica Psychiatric Center, is one of New York State's most infamous and haunted institutions. Opened in 1843, it was the first state-run facility in New York to care for the mentally ill. The hospital, originally called the New York State Lunatic Asylum, housed thousands of patients over the years, many of whom experienced extreme treatments such as electroshock therapy, lobotomies, and isolation. The combination of its grim history and the suffering that took place within its walls has led to countless ghost stories and eerie tales, making it a hotspot for paranormal activity. One of the most famous ghostly legends tied to Utica State Hospital is that of the Shadow Man. Numerous visitors, as well as former staff, have reported seeing a tall, dark figure lurking in the hallways and staircases. This shadowy figure is said to be one of the hospital's former patients, who, after years of isolation and mistreatment, died within the asylum. The Shadow Man is often described as watching silently from the corners of the room, creating an overwhelming sense of dread for those who encounter him. Another spooky tale involves the hospital's infamous Old Main Building, a large Gothic structure that once housed the most severely ill patients. Many paranormal investigators and visitors have reported hearing disembodied voices, including whispers, moans, and even the occasional scream, echoing through the empty corridors. Some claim that these sounds are the voices of former patients who endured unimaginable suffering, still trapped within the walls of the hospital. There are also reports of ghostly nurses wandering the halls, dressed in old-fashioned uniforms. These spirits are believed to be former staff members who spent their entire careers at the hospital and never truly left, continuing to care for the patients in death as they did in life. Today, the hospital is mostly abandoned, but its dark history and ghostly reputation attract thrill-seekers and paranormal investigators from around the country. Utica State Hospital remains a chill. Number 4. The Iron Island Museum. The Iron Island Museum, located in Buffalo, New York, is renowned for its history, but it's also infamous for being one of the most haunted places in the region. The building, originally constructed in the late 1800s, has served various purposes over the years, including as a church and funeral home, before becoming a museum in the 1990s. With its eerie past as a site where the deceased were once prepared for burial, it's no surprise that the museum has become a hotspot for ghostly activity and paranormal investigations. The museum's name comes from its location in the Iron Island neighborhood, an area surrounded by railroad tracks. But it's what lies inside that truly sends shivers down visitors' spines. When the museum first opened, the owners discovered several unclaimed cremated remains from its days as a funeral home. These remains were eventually given a proper burial, but some believe that the spirits of those who were forgotten still linger in the building. One of the most famous spirits believed to haunt the Iron Island Museum is that of a young boy named Jimmy. His spirit is said to be playful yet mischievous, often moving objects around or tapping visitors on the shoulder. Paranormal investigators have captured recordings of a childlike voice, thought to be Jimmy's, and some have reported seeing his apparition running through the museum. Another spirit that haunts the museum is a man who is believed to have passed away during the building's time as a funeral home. This figure, often described as tall and wearing a dark suit, has been spotted wandering the hallways or standing in the museum's main rooms. His presence is often accompanied by a heavy feeling in the air, as though he is still waiting for something unresolved. With its rich history and chilling tales of the supernatural, the Iron Island Museum attracts both history buffs and paranormal enthusiasts. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the strange happenings and ghostly encounters within its walls make it one of the most haunted locations in New York. Number 5. Belasco Theater. The Belasco Theater, located on West 44th Street in New York City, is one of Broadway's most iconic theaters and also one of its most haunted. Built in 1907 by the famous theatrical producer David Belasco, the theater was designed to be a luxurious and cutting-edge space for live performances. But beyond its beauty and historic charm, the Belasco Theater has gained a reputation for being home to several ghosts, including that of its original owner, David Belasco himself. David Belasco, often called the Bishop of Broadway because of his habit of wearing clerical clothing, was known for being a hands-on producer, frequently attending performances and working closely with his actors. He even lived in an apartment above the theater, which had direct access to the stage. When Belasco passed away in 1931, many believe that he never truly left his beloved theater. Over the years, actors and staff have reported seeing his ghostly figure, usually dressed in his signature black suit and clerical collar, observing rehearsals from the balcony or walking the stage as if he were still overseeing his productions. But David Belasco isn't the only ghost rumored to haunt the theater. Another well-known spirit is the Blue Lady, believed to be the ghost of a young woman who was either an actress or one of Belasco's lovers. She is often seen in a flowing blue gown, either backstage or in the audience, sometimes appearing as a faint blue light. Some witnesses have reported feeling a gentle, comforting presence when she appears, while others have experienced mysterious cold drafts in her vicinity. In addition to these two famous ghosts, strange phenomena have been reported throughout the theater. Doors open and close on their own, lights flicker without explanation, and objects move seemingly by themselves. These occurrences have made the Belasco Theater a popular destination for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts, all eager to experience its haunted history firsthand.